What's going on, guys? This is one of those unscheduled rants I had to hurry up and get up while it was still fresh in my mind. And excuse the backdrop. I'm in a hotel room in Macedonia, trying to get some work done before I go to Kosovo tomorrow. But I had to say something about this video because this video that somebody sent me and has been making its way around the West recently really sums up fucking privilege in the West. How privileged and ridiculous we are expecting other people to cater to us. So Songkran is the Thai. It's the Thai New Year. It's a mix between New Year and 4th of July for us Americans. It's when Thais take off work, they spend time with family. They have these amazing water fights on the streets of Thailand all over. It's a really fun time. But this happened, I believe it was like April 13th, April 14th, where a British couple and their son were attacked by a mob of Thai men. So the story was going around, and then the video came out, and the video came out like 2 or 3 days ago, and everybody's seen the video. And here's what happened. So basically, it looks like the son was drunk. He was pushing or trying to get past some Thai guys. Some words were exchanged between the guys. One of the guys barely touched the dude, barely touched the British young guy. He falls over drunk, clearly trashed. And then here's where it escalated. When the woman, an older lady, turns out she was like in her 60s, an elderly British lady, starts to push a Thai man and then slaps him repeatedly. Then all hell breaks loose. And basically these Thai guys beat the shit out of the British lady, the son, and the father. Everybody got knocked the fuck out. Everybody was done. And then what made it even worse was after all of them were on the ground, the Thai guys were stomping them in the head and then kicked the British lady in the face. I am not excusing that behavior. And some people online, where I've already commented, feel like I'm excusing that behavior. Absolutely not. I am not excusing. There's no instance where when you've knocked somebody out, they're clearly knocked out, that you should be stumping or kicking them in the head. There's absolutely no, unless you're trying to kill them. Like, that's the only logical reason for that to happen, in my opinion. You're making an effort to kill that person. So what happened to them after they got knocked out, totally uncalled for. Here's the caveat though. It never should have happened. They never should have put themselves in that position. And for all of you guys watching this who are about to say, oh, Eric, you're victim blaming. Yes, I victim blame when people do stupid shit to get themselves in bad positions. They never should have been in that position. You do not put your hands on somebody, period. You just don't put your hands on somebody, but you especially don't put your hands on somebody in their home country. Especially on a bar street where everybody is likely drunk. You don't do that. If a British couple came to East Cleveland, where I grew up, went to a bar and started putting their hands on people, they would have got the shit kicked out of them the same way they got the shit kicked out of them in Hua Hin, Thailand. The same thing that would happen to me if I did it in fucking Brighton in the UK. The same thing. Here's the issue here. The comments that I'm seeing are not only bigoted and racist and painting the entire Thai culture as some kind of savages, but it's also highlighting the privilege that Western people have when they go to these countries, expecting them to all of a sudden adhere to their rules back home. Here's the thing. Where I grew up, you don't put your hands on women and you don't put your hands on old people. It's just a decorum thing. You just don't do it. But a lot of cultures don't follow our same ideal of chivalry. That's a problem that we have in the West. Where we go to places like Thailand, we go to Colombia. Well, Colombia put you on your ass. But Thailand, some parts of Mexico, some parts of Central Eastern Europe, where we feel like we can go because we have a shit ton of money by comparison and say and do whatever we want, and these cultures have to bow down to us. And I also put some blame on the Thai people because the Thai people cater to Westerners. The tourism industry there makes Westerners feel like gods. Anything you want in Thailand, you can have if you have enough money. And when I say anything, absolutely anything. You can say whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. That's the culture that's been created in Thailand for foreigners. But the reality is, everybody doesn't adhere to that ideal. For example, a lot of people get upset when they go to Vietnam after going to Cambodia, Malaysia, Indonesia, or Thailand, and they say that the Vietnamese people are mean and racist. No, the Vietnamese people aren't mean and racist. They just don't give a fuck about you. They don't care. They're indifferent. They won't kiss your ass. That's the difference between those other countries and Vietnam. They don't cater to tourists like tourists are some kind of magnanimous gods, largely Western tourists. And that's what happened in this situation where these Western tourists, Brits, ended up getting their asses kicked. They went believing that, and I can tell you exactly what was going through this woman's head. I'm a 67, 68-year-old white woman, and this young man won't do anything by me pushing and hitting him in the face, because that's how it is back in the UK. That's not how it is in the rest of the world. And this is something, those of you who haven't traveled, and anybody, I swear, I am almost confident that most people who've actually traveled the world, who've actually gone to a lot of these different countries that aren't westernized, will validate exactly what I'm saying. You cannot show up in these countries holding on to your Western ideal of what's right and what's wrong, because what's right and wrong at home does not necessarily translate to what's right and wrong there. Not to mention putting your hands on somebody. I don't care if it's in the UK, if it's in New York, if it's in Colombia, if it's in Thailand, if it's in Romania. You do not put your hands on somebody else. You don't do that. If somebody says something to you, let them talk, because you will not win that fight. No matter what, no matter who you are, no matter how badass you are. I was in the military for over 10 years, and I've seen it over and over and over. Young, drunk military guys who are admittedly badass cats getting their ass handed to them by locals. Why? Because you are not on your home turf, you are likely inebriated, and you're just outnumbered. I have no idea why people think it's okay to go to somebody else's country and act a damn fool. You're a guest. Act like a guest. So that's my rant. That's my rant on that. Look, I understand that when you're on vacation, you're going to do things that may not be perceived as acceptable elsewhere. And nobody deserves to be assaulted. But that also goes both ways. You do not have any right to put your hands on somebody else. And in my opinion, as soon as you put your hands on somebody else, you deserve pretty much everything else that comes after that, short of being killed. So that's my rant. I will see you guys later. The next video is going to be how not to get your ass knocked down in somebody else's country.